You pride yourself on the hustle, don't you? On the sleepless nights, the overflowing calendar, the perpetual grind. You wear exhaustion as a badge of honor, a testament to your ambition, your drive, your unwavering commitment to building something monumental. You believe that every late email, every skipped meal, every sacrificed weekend is a brick in the towering edifice of your future, a monument to your unwavering dedication to success. You tell yourself you're building a life, forging a legacy, manifesting your grandest visions. But what if I told you that this relentless pursuit, this ceaseless motion, this veneration of the grind is not a path to liberation, but a sophisticated, self-imposed prison? What if the very act of hustling, far from building the life you envision, is actually keeping you from it? What if this frenetic energy, this compulsive need to be perpetually productive, is not a sign of your strength, but a symptom of a profound, unacknowledged fear? What if your relentless drive is not truly about building a life, but about desperately escaping yourself? An elaborate, exhausting maneuver to avoid the terrifying silence, the uncomfortable stillness, the profound questions that arise when the constant noise of doing finally ceases. This is not a judgment. It is an invitation to look unflinchingly at the shadows cast by your brightest ambitions. This is not merely about stress or burnout. Those are but surface symptoms. This is about a deeper, more insidious pathology woven into the fabric of modern aspiration. From the moment you are handed your first smartphone, a subtle indoctrination begins, reinforcing the insidious lie that your worth is directly proportional to your output, that your value is measured by your perpetual availability and your ability to optimize every waking moment. The ancient sages spoke of the virtue of contemplation, of discerning action. Today, we worship relentless, often mindless, motion. Consider the evolution of purpose in the modern age. Once, purpose might have been found in craftsmanship, in community, in spiritual devotion, in raising a family, or in the pursuit of philosophical truths. These pursuits often contained inherent periods of rest, reflection, and organic growth. But then came the Industrial Revolution, mechanization, and the relentless march of capitalism, which demanded not just labor, but efficient labor, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It taught us to view ourselves not as beings, but as human resources, cogs in an ever-accelerating machine. The architects of this system, often the same forces who planted your dreams, understood that to extract maximum value, they needed to keep you perpetually engaged, perpetually striving, perpetually believing that the next level of success lay just beyond your current capacity. They didn't just sell you goods and services, they sold you a culture of perpetual inadequacy, a narrative that whispered, "You are not enough unless you are doing more, achieving more, earning more." Carl Jung, in his exploration of the human psyche, understood the power of the shadow, the unacknowledged aspects of ourselves, often those we deem negative or undesirable, that we push into unconsciousness. But what if the relentless pursuit of hustle is a collective shadow, a desperate attempt to outrun the uncomfortable truths that lie dormant within us? What if the endless to-do list, the frantic pursuit of external validation, is merely a highly sophisticated, socially acceptable form of avoidance behavior? Are you truly building something meaningful, or are you simply piling activities on top of an unexamined foundation, hoping to bury the very questions that might lead to genuine liberation? We have become addicted to the rush of productivity, to the illusion of control, to the temporary high of ticking off another item. Our phones, our notifications, our social media feeds, they are not merely tools. They are instruments of this addiction, constantly reinforcing the idea that stillness is wasted time, that contemplation is weakness, that rest is for the unmotivated. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable you become in true silence, in true idleness? That fidgeting, that urge to grab your device, that sudden anxiety. What is it you are trying to outrun in those moments? Is it the quiet whisper of your own unfulfilled needs? The uncomfortable truths about your relationships? the deep existential questions about meaning and purpose that demand an answer. The most devastating consequence of this hustle culture is the fragmentation of your soul. You become a wingless creature, caught in a perpetual, self-made whirlwind, believing you are ascending, when in reality you are merely spinning faster and faster, losing all sense of direction, losing all connection to your authentic center. You expend your finite energy, your irreplaceable time, your precious attention, not in pursuit of genuine growth, but in a frantic dance around a void you refuse to acknowledge. You build a formidable fortress of accomplishments, a towering resume, a glittering social media facade, yet within its walls, your soul slowly starves. This isn't merely about physical burnout, though that is a common companion. It's about a deeper, spiritual exhaustion, a profound sense of emptiness that no amount of external success can fill. This relentless motion is a potent anesthetic. It numbs you to your true desires, to your emotional landscape, to the quiet wisdom of your body, to the subtle whispers of your intuition. It disconnects you from genuine human connection, as every interaction becomes transactional, every moment optimized for networking or gain. Your relationships become a casualty, your personal life a footnote, your inner world a neglected wasteland. You are perpetually on, but rarely truly present. How many individuals, standing at the summit of their meticulously hustled careers, with all the trappings of success, the high-paying job, the luxurious home, the enviable status, suddenly feel a hollow ache, a gnawing sense of disillusionment, a terrifying realization that they have spent years, decades even, climbing the wrong mountain, only to discover there is nothing at the peak but an echoing emptiness. That ache, that gnawing emptiness, is your authentic self, screaming from beneath the layers of enforced productivity and manufactured purpose. It is your soul, rebelling against the constant suppression, desperate to be acknowledged, desperate to reclaim its sovereignty. You are a soldier, perpetually engaged in battle, not against an external enemy, but against the very essence of your own being, believing that constant warfare will lead to peace. It leads only to perpetual conflict and exhaustion. Why are you perpetually stressed, perpetually anxious, perpetually feeling as though you're falling behind, no matter how much you accomplish? Why does every completed task, every new achievement, every momentary success feel like a temporary reprieve, quickly replaced by a new, more demanding goal, a new itch that needs scratching? Why does the promised land of enough, the elusive state of contentment, always recede further into the horizon, a mirage that dissipates the closer you get? Because you're running on a treadmill that you yourself have installed, fueled by an unconscious fear. Because your finish line is not defined by genuine fulfillment, but by the relentless pursuit of self-validation, a validation you refuse to grant yourself from within. Because your dreams, when fueled solely by the engine of hustle, are not destinations of authentic purpose, but merely mile markers in a frantic, self-imposed race you're running to outrun your own deeper truths. This isn't about being lazy or lacking ambition or advocating for a life of stagnation. No, this is far deeper. It's about being dispossessed of your own inner peace, of your fundamental ability to simply be, without needing to perpetually do. It's about sacrificing your very essence, your serenity, your emotional intelligence, your capacity for joy, your genuine connections, on the altar of a false god, productivity for productivity's sake. Is this freedom, truly? Is this living a life of genuine autonomy and self-determination? Or is it a sophisticated, invisible form of self-enslavement, where your time, your energy, your creative potential, your very human essence are relentlessly consumed in a desperate, often unconscious, attempt to avoid confronting the very anxieties, insecurities, and unfulfilled needs that truly drive your relentless pace? The illusion is so complete, so pervasive, that it is almost impossible to detect from within the whirlwind. So, how do you break free from this insidious cycle? How do you distinguish between the deafening roar of imposed productivity and the quiet, persistent whisper of your own soul, the authentic stirrings of your true purpose that lie buried beneath the rubble of endless tasks? It begins with radical stillness. Not just external stillness, but an intentional, courageous quieting of the internal clamor. Every impulse to reach for your phone, every urge to fill the silence with another task, another email, another notification. Observe it. Challenge it. Ask, what am I trying to avoid in this moment? What uncomfortable feeling or thought is arising that I am instinctively trying to drown out with activity? This process is not comfortable. In fact, it is profoundly unsettling. It requires an honesty so brutal, so unflinching, that it may initially feel like self-sabotage, like dismantling the very scaffolding of your identity. You will have to painstakingly peel back layers of conditioned responses, discard long-held beliefs about your worth being tied to your output, shed accumulated expectations of constant achievement. You will feel vulnerable, perhaps even purposeless, as if the very ground beneath your feet, once solid with tasks and deadlines, has dissolved into thin air. This is the great unbecoming, the necessary stripping away of what is not you to reveal what truly is. You must learn to distinguish between authentic action and compulsive reaction. The architects of hustle want you to compulsively react to every external stimulus, every notification, every perceived demand, every societal pressure. But the essence of true purpose lies in authentic, intentional action, born from a place of clarity and genuine desire, not frantic avoidance. Are you pursuing a goal because it truly ignites your soul, or because it offers a convenient distraction from an uncomfortable truth? Are you working late because you are genuinely inspired, or because the thought of an empty evening, of being alone with your thoughts, fills you with dread? Are you accumulating achievements because they reflect your deepest values, or because they offer a temporary shield against feelings of inadequacy? This requires deep, sustained introspection. Silence the external noise. Disconnect, frequently and deliberately, from the constant bombardment of manufactured urgency that streams from every screen, every demanding boss, every aspirational peer. Go inward, into the quiet chambers of your own being. What truly makes your heart sing, even when no one is watching, even when there's no reward or recognition attached? What problems compel you to act, to dedicate your energy not because you should, but because you genuinely must? What kind of contribution, however small, however unconventional, feels inherently right for you, irrespective of societal approval, financial gain, or the endless pursuit of external validation? What would you do, simply for the doing of it, simply for the joy of creation or connection, if money, status, and external opinion were entirely removed from the equation? This is not a quick fix, a 5-step program, or a weekend workshop. This is a profound, often arduous journey into the wilderness of your own being, a deliberate unlearning, stripped bare of all the conditioning you've absorbed since childhood. It's a journey into the uncharted shadows of your subconscious, confronting the implanted narratives of productivity and worth that have taken root so deeply they feel like innate truths, like the very bedrock of your existence. It demands patience, courage, and a relentless commitment to your own truth, even when that truth is terrifying in its simplicity. This path is lonely, for few dare to walk it. Most prefer the comfortable delusion, the familiar chase, the predictable validation of societal norms, even if it leaves them perpetually exhausted and unfulfilled. They will question you, mock you, or pity you for deviating. They will call you lazy, unmotivated, or naive. But the comfort of illusion is the slow, agonizing death of the soul, a gradual erosion of your vital force, a perpetual state of being lost in a self-made labyrinth. You must be willing to sit with the profound discomfort of uncertainty, the unsettling fear of not knowing what your true purpose is, before it begins to reveal itself. You must embrace the awkwardness and the social friction of deviating from the well-trodden path of relentless activity. You must cultivate the profound courage to look the world in the eye and say, "No, this constant doing is not serving my soul. even if the entire world tells me it is the only path to success. Even if it promises me everything I thought I wanted. This is the ultimate rebellion. Not against a political system, not against a government, but against the insidious, pervasive conditioning that has stolen your inner peace, that has redirected your life force towards external metrics and self-imposed deadlines. It is the fight for your own spiritual sovereignty, the profound reclamation of your most precious resource, your authentic presence, your capacity for genuine joy, your true self, unburdened by the relentless need to perform and escape. It is a battle waged not with weapons, but with ruthless self-awareness and unwavering conviction in the face of societal pressure. The culture of hustle will continue to churn, to demand more, to promise false fulfillment, to offer endless distractions. That is its nature, its strategy, its enduring legacy. But your nature, as a conscious, sentient being, endowed with free will and the capacity for self-reflection, is to choose, to discern, to break free from the invisible chains of imposed productivity. Your true purpose is not found in the breathless pursuit of external achievements, but in the profound creation of a life that genuinely reflects your unique spirit, your inherent values, your authentic desires. It is not about external validation, about applause or recognition, but about internal resonance, the quiet, abiding satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with your deepest truth. It is not about chasing something given to you, a pre-packaged ideal of success, but about building something from you, from the raw, unrefined material of your own soul, cultivated with intention, nurtured with rest, and grounded in presence. Imagine a life where your efforts, your passion, your daily rhythm are not dictated by a frantic, fear-driven need to avoid, but by a deep, calm commitment to your authentic self. Imagine the profound satisfaction, the deep, abiding peace of knowing that every step you take, every challenge you overcome, every act of creation, however humble, is truly your own, born from your authentic desire, fueled by your unique purpose, and unmarred by the desperation of escape. This is a satisfaction that no external validation, no material acquisition, no fleeting achievement can ever replicate. This is not a guarantee of external wealth or widespread fame. It is a guarantee of something far more valuable, the reclamation of your soul. It is a guarantee that when your candle flickers out, when your time on this earth concludes, you will have lived a life defined by your own light, illuminating your own chosen path, not merely reflecting the manufactured glare of others, not merely serving as a cog in someone else's frantic machine. Will you continue to run on a treadmill, installed by your own unexamined fears and societal pressures, relentlessly chasing a mirage of success that only serves to keep you perpetually exhausted and fundamentally unfulfilled? Will you sacrifice your most precious commodity, your life, your presence, your peace, for a never-ending cycle of doing that is ultimately about escaping yourself? Or will you have the immense courage to stop, to step off the treadmill, no matter how disorienting it feels, to embrace the stillness, to look inward, to listen to the faint, persistent whisper of your own intuition, even if it speaks uncomfortable truths, to embark on the arduous, terrifying, yet ultimately liberating journey to dig for the authentic seeds of your own becoming, even if it means tearing down every carefully constructed facade, every comfortable illusion you thought you knew about yourself. The choice, as it always has been, is yours and yours alone. But understand this, deeply and profoundly, until you make that conscious, deliberate choice, until you truly question the underlying motive of your relentless drive, you remain a prisoner in a gilded cage of your own making, perpetually running from the very peace and presence you desperately seek. Your soul is not for sale. It simply requires you to reclaim it from the hustle. Go forth and dare to simply be.